Affairs Minister received an earful today as he made his first trip to the site of a lengthy Aboriginal occupation.
Michael Bryant was in Caledonia to meet with politicians, business people, religious leaders and citizens to find a solution to the standoff. Mayor Marie Traynor wants the province to put an end to the occupation, which is now nearing its second anniversary. One soon-to-be new resident of the town didn't get a chance to speak with Bryant, but the minister surely knows a lot about him. Gary McHale, the man behind the controversial website CaledoniaWakeUpCall.com and organizer of some very contentious marches, is about to settle down in the town where the mere mention of his name can make tempers flare.
And Gary McHale and his wife Christine join us now in studio. Gary, your presence in Caledonia has been a sore point for police and civic officials in the past. The question is, why would you want to move to a community that frankly doesn't want you there?
Well, after the election, we had to decide whether we were just going to drop the whole issue or and move on with our lives, or get in it full force. And we've met so many people in town, so many friends who want us to continue and support us, that we decided the best way to do it would be move into Caledonia, sell our place in Richmond Hill, and become part of the community and, suffer as they have suffered and live through the things they lived through and be part of the family life that's going on there.
How do you afford this? I mean, what kind of business are you in that allows you to just up and move to a place like Caledonia?
Well, I've been self-employed for the last 20 years. I run a accounting business and computer programming. I do accounting work for various companies in Toronto, and I'll be able to continue to do that because most of the work that I do is from my home through internet and long distance. So that I'll be able to keep going, and I'll have save a lot of time and a lot of expenses because in Richmond Hill it's quite expensive to live just north of Toronto.
Okay, Christine, let's bring you into this conversation. I know you and Gary don't have children, so there's not a problem there with your kids at school or being hassled maybe by some other kids. But personally, don't you fear for your safety? Because your home will undoubtedly be a magnet for some hotheads on both sides of this occupation.
Well, I don't know that fear would be the word that I would use. There are some concerns, and we will be taking certain measures to address those concerns.
What kind of measures?
Well, we'll probably have a
really good security system?
Yeah, a pretty good one put in. But frankly, the community that we're looking to move into, we've made an awful lot of friends there. There's very, very people that have become very close to us. We're close with them. And a lot of it is also just going to be them looking out for us and us looking out for them. So a real community effort.
Joining us now by phone is Ken Hewitt. He is one of the spokesmen for the Caledonia Citizens Alliance. And Ken, do you think any good can come of Gary and Christine's move to your city?
Well, that's obviously unfair for me to say. I think that we're a beautiful community, and I think that anybody who wants to move here should have the freedom and the opportunity to do so. Just obviously we're looking for resolve and resolution.
Ken, do you think that Michael Bryant's visit today, the new Minister of Aboriginal Affairs, his visit to Caledonia will amount to anything more than maybe just a well-organized photo op?
You hit it right on the head. It's a photo op, Mark, and today we find out that the same minister who had an injunction on land that was bought by a province and turned the OPP into peacekeepers is now saying it's up to the OPP to clear the land. And if there's one consistent message that's come through from all the people that he has spoken to, is that it's time the province clear the land and get that Douglas Creek stated as neutral territory.
It's amazing. Everybody's passing the buck. I mean, the feds, the province, the OPP, nobody will take responsibility for this.
Well, it's actually quite funny, Donna. I mean, it's a political football, really. You have a premier who bought the land, who's been saying it's a federal issue. You have a minister, at that time was the Attorney General, who turned the OPP into peacekeepers, who's now the Aboriginal Affairs Minister and is now saying, well, it's an OPP issue. And then you have Fantino who comes out and says that they're the meat in the sandwich, and they can't do anything without the province and the feds resolving it.
Gary, do you agree with what Ken's saying here?
Oh, absolutely. Mr. Hewitt hit it right on the head. The other thing that I noticed this morning is I believe that the province and the council is about to throw a lot of money at this problem, hopefully to appease the businesses and residents. Every time you ask them about the occupation or the law and order, they don't want to talk about that, but the government is able to come up with millions of dollars that they're going to spend to appease the residents and businesses, and that's what we're about to see in the next couple of weeks.
Gary, why do you care so much about this issue? I mean, a lot of people would argue that you're there just to stir the pot and that you're really not sincere about your motivation. But what is driving you? I mean, now you're actually moving to Caledonia. Why are you so passionate about this issue?
Because the reality is there were many victims in Caledonia long before I got involved, and when I realized that the Toronto media especially wasn't covering the story, and that both the province and the federal government throughout their history, whether it's Oka or Ippawash, they don't deal with these issues at all. They just keep passing the buck. Everything that's being said today was said in Ippawash and was said in Oka. They each blame each other. They all pass the buck, and they just wait for residents to finally get fed up and give up. And then next thing you know, 10 years have passed. Well, we have to deal with the injustices. We can't have any more Caledonians. And unless average residents, our average people, step forward and fight this battle, the politicians will not touch it. If Mr. Bryant is out today to deal with the issues, it's only because the issue have been kept in the media. They wouldn't be doing it if they weren't on the hot seat all the time.
All right, Ken, do you believe that any publicity is good publicity for Caledonia?
Well, I wouldn't agree totally with that. Obviously, we'd like to see positive publicity in Caledonia so that the people living here and the businesses really reap the rewards of what this community can bring. Unfortunately, I put the blame back on our government, and allowing something that has happened to go on as long as it has brought more publicity than we really needed.
All right, we've got to run. Ken Hewitt, thanks so much for joining us. Gary and Christine McHale, thank you as well, and good luck with your imminent move to Caledonia.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mark.